Well, I don't know where the idea for little dolls came from, but it's something that honestly just really continued right on through into American Dolls, the Ginnies and the Wendy's, and all of the little dolls that we celebrate today. But back in the 1870s and 1880s and 1890s in France and Germany, they fell in love with miniature dolls, miniature all bisque dolls. This perhaps followed along with their fascination with dollhouses, and they started looking at dollhouse dolls, and then they thought, but sometimes people don't want a dollhouse, they just want a little doll, and they fit for children. So they first started appearing in Paris magazines in the 1880s, and they were called poupées à poche, pocket dolls, because they would be so tiny you could fit them in your pocket. They were just wonderfully made, and when you look at them, I learned this because collectors are always teaching me things. And when I would look at an all bisque doll, I kind of look at the costume, and I would, look at the condition and the wig. And I asked somebody once, well, what do you most look at? And they said, oh, I look at the face. The faces make a big difference. And I started looking at the faces and started realizing, yes, some of them are really much more beautiful than others. And I want to tell you that rather than I talk to you about these in great length, I just want the camera to keep sweeping over them, and you just keep looking at all the different faces, and hey, you tell me what you like. I'll point out a couple things that I have noticed in particular. When I was doing the French on this side, I was trying to give you things that had their original costumes on them as much as possible, and that's really a very, very nice thing to have. And I even sneaked in, not an all bisque, but I decided to sneak in a classic bébé with a composition body, this wonderful little Steiner. Look at this doll. She is so extraordinary in her original costume. That face is just perfect, perfect, perfect. Very, very precious. Original body, original costume, the wire lever eyes, blonde mohair wig, super doll. Now, over the little all bisque mignonettes, things you want to look for that are extra features, this little girl has her jointed elbows. That's very, very rare to find. Some of them have blue. All right, here's two dolls that are very similar. She, however, has brown painted boots, and her companion, dressed in a very, very almost identical dress, has blue painted boots. So you look for those little different variations. The little girl here in the front, I want to pick up and show you because she has blue painted boots, but look at the outside of them and you'll see the embossed detail of the buttons on them. These little features had to be very, very difficult to complete and to make as a special feature on the doll, but they were all part of the modeling. And then the other thing is, you've got to just look at these faces yourself. I'm going to tilt all the faces up so you can look at them, and then you can make a decision who you think is the prettiest. They're not going to stand in front of each other. They'll stand side by side. And which one do you like the best? You take a minute and look, but you have no way of telling me. Doesn't matter, it's all what you like anyway. Kestner became early on one of the very, very strong makers of the all bisque dolls in Germany. And I put here a variety of the examples that are presented in Karen's collection. One of the favorite painting of the boots on them were the yellow painted ankle boots, the very stylized look you're seeing here. All right? And this little girl comes with not only the wonderful dress she's wearing, but also this entire wardrobe of additional underwear, costumes, 3 other dresses, very, very wonderful pieces. So that's a real treasure to find. Here's another yellow ankle-painted boots, but now I'm going to hold the 2 girls up side by side and check their faces. Different faces, and which one do you like the best, even though they have the same body? When you start collecting all bisques, it's an endless path. You might call it a morass, but I prefer to call it a path. This is a very, very unusual doll. I think her ankle boots are different to begin with, the black ankle boots, but look at her mouth. You do not find in this early time period of Kester's very many dolls that have the slightly parted mouth with with 4 tiny upper teeth, porcelain teeth. But wait, I want to show you this. Here's a little partner, and she has the same boots, but a smaller size. I have to move that ribbon that's hiding her face here. Hold on. And she has the open mouth as well, but she only has 2 teeth. I guess that was all they could get in the mouth of this very, very tiny one. Very unusual. I don't think I've seen many of these with that open mouth. This is a wonderful doll with jointed ankles, or knees rather, jointed knees, very rare to find, and check out her shoes. Purple shoes. How many have you seen like that? I think in all the years I've had, I've only had 4 or 5 of this Kestner model with, I guess you'd call it the half kid body. It starts at the waist, the original kid body, and she just doesn't show up very much at all. Here's her little original chemise that comes with her. Wonderful little early Kestner. We have another wonderful one here, and these two both have, they're actually, again, identical models, but I wanted you to see identical models, and so you could see how the painting of the face or the way it's costumed or the eyes could all make a difference in the projection of the doll. And they're both wonderful dolls, but do you choose one that you like better than the other? They both have the same painted shoes, by the way. And then we move on to my friend Simon and Halbig, who is also, I will tell you, one of Karen's favorites, and she has some wonderful examples here. And I tried to pick models that I felt, they're all from the early period, and I tried to pick dolls and I thought had different faces that you could see. This little girl in particular, right here in the brown dress, has an absolutely extraordinary face. Very, very different from any others I've seen. I don't know, again, if it's in the painting or if there was some slight detail of the modeling that would make it different, but it's just a wonderful, wonderful doll. Now, I want to move these over so you can see, and I'll move her over here for the time being. So you can see this is a wonderful, when I saw this, when it came in, I said, I know that doll, I know it. And I went back and looked, and Karen bought it from us about 20 or 25 years ago. And she had from one of our auctions, and she's preserved it all this time. It has the original trunk, and it has 3 trays of original clothing that is as fresh as the day it was made, some 50 years ago. It's absolutely extraordinary. It's the little Simon Halbig with the twill body and the original bisque hands, and she came in this trunk with this clothing, with a little matching cape, collar, in case it was chilly that day, this dress, undergarments, this dress with the little matching cape, this dress. And I happen to know from people who are close friends with Karen that this was one of her favorite dolls, that she always cherished this the most. And then a whole tray of additional undergarments. This is an exceptional doll, and not just because she got it from us, but I loved it the first time we had it, and I was happy to have her pass through our hands once again so I could give it a little visit. But in case you can't have that, here is a very, very similar one. Again, one of the little cloth-bodied Simon and Halbigs, all original with the little bisque arms and legs. And look at her costume, and now when I turn her around, even look at the back of the costume. You cannot get any more original than that. So you're seeing just a few of the examples of the wonderful all bisques that Karen has, and again, this is only a fraction of them. There are others with wonderful little trunks and trousseaux, some that are sold in pairs, wonderful arrangements of them. I know you're going to be really happy when you see them in the catalog. Again, once again, please come to her preview, her exhibition. I'd love you to stay for the auction, but I'd love you to just to see all of her dolls and give proper credence to this wonderful collector who deserves all of the accolades that she could have for the great work that she did in our world of doll collecting.